Another one of Shooting Spin's targets is something I think they're trying to kind of do as a value line because of the simplicity of it. Is what they're calling is one of their thick spinner targets, and you can see this one right here has got some graphics on it on both sides. And what they've done is that they've tried to come up with a target. MSRP on this one's $40. It's a 5.5 inch diameter AR 500 piece of plate here, and it's hanging from a swivel, which I believe is a number 8 heavy duty fishing swivel. And what they've done is they've said, all right, for this concept, you just go out and you find a place to hang it. You know, like in this case right here, I'm hanging it from a limb. You know, with the zip tie, it could hang from a nail off of a board or anything that anything that you could hang it on out at the range. And the philosophy behind it is you hit it and it'll start spinning. You know, now it's going to be real interesting to see how this holds up in the range test, because of I think it's going to be a function of the caliber that you shoot this target with, on how well the fishing swivel is going to do as far as hanging the target. The other thing that kind of comes to mind is man, this thing will really spin good if you catch it on the edge. I mean, you can see that it could spin there. Let me catch it like I really hit it good on the edge. I mean, it could spin there pretty good like that. We'll just have to see out of the range whether or not we think that's good or bad. You know, so that's going to be real interesting. It's also going to be interesting to see just the durability of the swivel if it ends up taking a hit right in this area. I've already ordered some replacement swivels to take to the range with me in anticipation that that might happen. But it's an interesting concept. I'm curious to see how this holds up. The graphics on it, they did such a nice job with the graphics on it. It's you know, an infused paint system here, and it's nearly a shame to shoot it. I'm sure after a few shots the graphics are going to show their wear, but it's going to be interesting to see how this one does. Alright, I'm going to give this the thick spinner here a try. I've got it hanging up just by one of my other gongs here. I'm just hanging it from a piece of chain that came down. I just hooked this on an LS hook off of a tie-down strap, and it's going to hang right there. We're going to see what happens when we hit it. We're good. Wow. Well, clearly, if you've got it hanging from extra chain, it can get a very distinctive pendulum swing to it. Let's see if I can hit that thing. That hit it. Hit it again. Swinging target makes it a little bit harder to hit. Well, I'm struggling whether I like it or not. Alright, there's a few more shots into it, and you can see, other than knocking off the paint on the surface of the plate clearly can handle it. Now, one thing I do notice is that it looks like, to me, you can see the key ring is starting to stretch here, and I think just depending on the caliber of what you shoot it with and how far it's away, you know, if it's going to come off, it's probably going to be related to the swivel here and the key ring and down in this area. But it's interesting. You know, it's got an interesting action to it, which it just adds a whole nother aspect of challenge to shooting. So we're just gonna leave it hanging up here at the range and let a lot of people shoot it, and then get their opinions later on what they thought about it. This is the shoot and spin thick target at the end of my range test, and you can see that we got a few shots into it, definitely on both sides. What finally happened, and it's, if you can see here, it wasn't the swivel itself that gave way, it was the split ring or key ring is the part that actually failed and pulled off. Now, I really don't consider that to be a big deal because I've got a lot of gong type targets, and we replace the S hooks quite frequently. What I'm showing here is that when I went down there, I went ahead and prepared myself a little bit. I went to Cabela's and ordered some of these number 8 ball bearing cast lock snap swivels. They say that they're 500-pound test capable. The swivel itself comes just like that. Okay, so if you're going to try to order some replacement parts, you're going to need to go ahead and pick up some of these other key rings to help hold the swivel to whatever it is that you're attaching it to. So overall, I think the target did really good. Again, we didn't have to replace any of those swivels, but I was ready to do that if I needed to. One of the things that I liked about this target, it's not something that I would consider to be a main course target, if that makes any sense. At the shooting range, I would kind of consider this to be more of an appetizer type target. It gives a little bit of variety. There were times where it was hanging on the chain and it was swinging, back and forth like that and spinning, that it definitely became a challenge when you were trying to hit it. But again, I don't think I would call it a main course target, but I would clearly say that it provided some variety and some interesting challenge at certain times. And I think overall, throughout the day, I saw different people going over there and trying to get a couple of shots in it, and then they would move off and shoot some of the other targets. But overall, the AR 500 plate, 3/8 thick, did a good job.